RetroMan116 here again, and I am back with another action figure review. You may have noticed my level of inactivity. Unfortunately, I've had a lot of things going on, and I'm not really going to bore you with those things, but I can assure you now that this channel is going to be a lot more active. I don't really have a certain pattern in mind, and by that I mean I don't know if I'm going to be doing a video a week, a video every 2 weeks, but what I could promise you is it'll be a lot more active than it has been lately. So without further ado, let's get started here. In my last video, I believe I reviewed the last Jazwares figure I said I was going to review, Jazwares being the company of the figure, and I went over most of those, and then I had promised in my last video that I would move on to Toy Island, and what we have here are is the first series, the first line of figures made by Toy Island, which were based off of the hit series Sonic X, which is a good show. Well, I'm not really going to give my full opinion right now, but it's better than all the other Sonic shows, I can say that safely. So, without further ado, I'm going to be reviewing these three in the same video. Hopefully it'll turn out well. Let's get started. So we'll go over articulation first. You can twist his head. The arms go just forward and backward. They can't really go up and down, so don't try and make it go up and down or else it'll break. This one, for some reason, can't move as much as his left arm, which is weird to me. And it's the same case with the legs. His right arm can move fine, but his left arm is just weird. It doesn't really move as much as the right leg does. And that's pretty much it for articulation. So why not jump in straight to detail? They didn't exactly go all out with this figure in detail. There are many flaws, as you can probably notice. Not many flaws, but I mean, you know, some small flaws that me as a collector and a fan of the series can spot myself, and I will try and point out as many as I can. His eyes aren't exactly the shape of Sonic's eyes. They're a little too circular, and I know that sounds weird, but Sonic's eyes, especially in the TV show, have a tendency to be very, take more of an oval shape, and very, very thin oval, and these are just big, thick circles and eyes. But the details inside are fine, but they're a little circular. His nose is pretty badly done. It looks like they just took a black thing, put it there, and oh, it's Sonic's nose, but it really has no shape at all, if you can see it. I mean, it has shape, obviously, but it's not the correct shape. His grin is fine. His hands are very well done, with each individual finger nicely done. He's pointing on this hand and almost a fist on this hand, but his gloves look good. His shoes are in good shape. The buckles are thin. Some people complain about them being too thin, but I'm not going to be that picky. They're there. That's what counts. He's got the thing on the back of his shoes here, but again, they're not painted in white like they're supposed to. And it doesn't look like we have treads on the bottom of his shoes. His quills are a little straight for me. Sonic's quills, especially in Sonic X, which is these are the figures that are based off of the TV show. They should be, well, in the TV show they're going down like a lot, like, even like a little more than they probably should be for my taste. And in this figure, they're going straight. I mean, if he was in a running position, then it works out because the wind is blowing them straight. But if he's just standing there like the figure is presented, then this is incorrect. It's just, you know, badly done. The back quills are fine. The tail is fine. And he's a little chubby, and especially for Sonic X, where pretty much each character took a thinner version of their actual, you know, Sega trademark. Sonic X made them a little thinner. Well, these lines of figures, for some reason, they each have a chubby-like feature to them, as you can probably notice here. A couple more than the other, right? But and we'll get to that in a minute. Sculpt and paint job. The paint job in some areas could have been done better, such as the bottom of the head over here, where there are some painting flaws. The sculpt is fine. That's pretty much it. The paint job maybe could have been done a little better. It looks like they may have rushed it in certain parts, such as the back here. But other than that, it's a decently made Sonic figure. And now we move on to Tails, and yeah, I don't really know what went down here. Remember how I said each of these figures takes a chubby-like feature to it? Well, Tails is not necessarily chubby. Tails is straight up fat. And it's very weird to me because Tails is the thinnest character of them all. And especially in Sonic X, he is super, super thin. And they just made him chubby and fat. I don't know if they thought it was funny. I don't know if it attracts to the little kids. But either way, I would say it's incorrect. Well, yeah, it is incorrect. I honestly don't know what to say about this. It seems quite funny to me that it seems like they did it on purpose. So we'll get into the articulation. We'll go over to it quickly. He can twist his head. His arms go forward and backward, not up and down. Same for this arm. A little more than Sonic's left arm is able to go. Same for the legs. The only real difference is his tail can twist, but it makes an extremely annoying sound if you twist it to the left. What you can do is charge it up, and then it twists by itself for a certain amount of time, but we're not going to let it twist forever. And you can take the tail off, but I'm not going to do it right now. Details. Again, he is way too fat for Tails. I don't know what the hell went down here, but let's get into the basic Tails details first. Tails details. Alright. He's got his blue eyes, which are exactly as they should be, the oval shape. Pretty much perfectly done. His nose is as it should be. His mouth is a little weird to me. It looks like he's sticking his tongue out or something. I don't know if it appeals to the little kids or something like that. I don't know, but it's kind of weird. He's got the little things in his ears, the 3 hairs that are pretty fragile, so you don't really want to shake them that much or else they will fall off. His fingers are nicely done, and his hands generally. His tails, yeah, it's got a bunch of screws on it. I don't really know why they decided to show all this when they could have easily just covered it up with paint, but they're all there. Looks like he just got out of surgery, but they're all there for some reason. His shoes are nicely done. They take the same red and white pattern that they should. The gray strap. No bottom shoe detail. And that's pretty much it. You've got Tails. The paint job is a lot better than Sonic's. The sculpt, again, he's pretty chubby, but for what they were trying to accomplish, it's a pretty nice sculpt. I don't really see many flaws other than its weird chubbiness. And here we have Knuckles. Whoops. The last one I'll be reviewing today. I'm so glad I was able to get to all 3 in this video. Really saves time. Articulation, I'll go over it real quickly. His head movement is limited because of his dreadlocks. The arm blocks it. Therefore, the arm movement will be a little limited on both, and the legs are fine. That's all of his articulation. Details. He's got his purple eyes. I'm not really sure whether they call that purple or indigo, but they are correct. His nose. His grin is nicely done. I like it better than Sonic's, actually. His dreadlocks are nicely done. His tail, it's alright. It's maybe a little long, but again, Knuckles' tail was always long. It's fine. He's got the white thing on his chest, which is nicely done. And his shoes, he's got all the detail that his shoes should have. The little, looks like a Lego piece right there, the green straps. No bottom shoe detail on this guy either. He's got his big fist here with the thumbs up, and he's just making a straight up fist here. The one thing about this figure is that his head is probably heavier than the entire figure, so getting him to stand up is a pain, because he will not stand up. He'll stand up on his claws like that, like in Sonic Adventure 2 if he's digging for treasure, but it is very hard to get him to stand up on his feet. I got him there with some sort of luck, but you gotta stand him extremely straight if you want to do that. The sculpt for what they were trying to accomplish is pretty nice. Paint job, about the same as Tails, a lot better than Sonic's. And there you have it. That's pretty much Knuckles. So let's see, a final score for these guys. Well, they're perfectly decent figures, but again, what they're being based off of, we have to think about that. They're being based off of Sonic X. And starting off with each figure in Sonic X, character in Sonic X, they took a thinner version of the actual Sega trademark characters. And here, we have to keep in mind, they're based off of the thinner characters. They each have a chubby-like feature to it. And Tails, I don't know what happened to Tails. He's fat. So that is incorrect. That's a big flaw. And it just doesn't look like they took the time to maybe sculpt and put the necessary small details that these Sonic figures have in the show. And they could have taken a little more time and care with it. As you can see, there are some paint job flaws, especially on Sonic's face. And the little details of the shapes of things, and is he supposed to be a little thinner, a little chubbier? And that being said, I'm gonna have to give these figures a 3.5. They are highly overpriced, unfortunately, but not yet rare, so you can pick it up online quite easily. I wouldn't go for over 50 bucks. I just don't think it's worth it unless you are a collector like I am. It took me a bunch of time to get these 3 figures, and I wasted a lot of time and unfortunately a lot of money trying to get them. So I don't know if it's worth it if you're not a collector, but if you are a hardcore collector like I am, I'm sure you will enjoy having them in your collection. This has been a figure review, RetroMan116. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody, and we will see you, well, I don't know who we is. I will see you later. Bye-bye.